Enemies, I go men with me, I go wings.
You gon' step in my ship, you gon' mess with the king.
Welcome to more Fanime. What's up, everybody? Today I want to review chapter 1073 of the One Piece manga. It has finally dropped. We find out that Stussy has been working for Vegapunk this entire time, undercover within CP0 for God knows how long. We have no idea how old this clone is, if she even ages. Maybe the vampire fruit keeps her young. We don't know, but now that there's clones introduced to the story that aren't Sephirum and aren't pacifistas, anybody could be a clone and not know it. Honestly, Zoro could be a clone. Nami could be a clone. Edward Weevil could be a failed clone of Whitebeard. I mean, he could also be his son. We're kind of in the middle there right now. I bet that'll be solved relatively sooner than later, hopefully. But this chapter starts with a cover story of Vegapunk and his peaceful inventions, winning, Nobel Prize type thing, inventing gunpowder that grows flowers or something. It's kind of a heavy-handed cover story, in my opinion. It's like, I get it, Vegapunk's a good guy. He's trying for world peace. We get it. We don't need to look at gunpowder that creates flowers. Okay, we get it. Vegapunk's a good guy. You see the other members of MADS in the background going, ugh, this is lame. We want weapons of mass destruction, Vegapunk. Not my favorite cover of this really fantastic cover story. I'm hoping that comes to an end soon. It almost feels like just they're pulling the taffy at this point on that cover story. We hop right into this chapter with Stussy completely decimating Rob Lucci. Rob Lucci looks at Stussy after she knocks out Kaku, and he's like, I don't know how to wrap my head around this. You've been part of CP0 possibly longer than I have. What is going on? And he goes to attack her, murder her. He goes to be putting the murder on Stussy, and Stussy's like, do you kill things you don't understand, Lucci? She comes in with a lipstick container, but was really sea prism stone, puts it up to old Rob Lucci's throat, and he goes limp for a hot second. She uses her vampire devil fruit ability to suck out some of his blood, knocking him out. She, puts some sea prism on both him and Kaku. It does seem like they're permanently out for the rest of this arc, which is very sad to me as a Rob Lucci, as a Kaku fan. I really loved CP0, one of my favorite arcs in the entire series, possibly the best arc in the entire series, Water 7. And you're taking two of the top antagonists from that arc and putting them into Egghead Island just for them to go toe-to-toe with Zoro and Luffy for half a chapter, and then they get knocked out by a infiltrator. I just thought that, Rob Lucci was a little smarter than that. He might have thought of the idea that, there might be some more allies for old Vegapunk. I guess it makes sense that Stussy's, been undercover a long time, so it makes sense he'd be fooled. I guess it's better than Rob Lucci getting absolutely decimated by Luffy and Kaku getting destroyed one shot by Zoro, but I would have preferred, personally, seeing Kaku fight Brook. That would have been fun. If we're not going to put Kaku on the same level as Zoro right now, it makes total sense. Zoro is a beast and has only gotten stronger. But I think somebody like Brook, who hasn't really had a major moment since he went toe-to-toe with Big Mom back at Whole Cake Island, could have had an earned victory against a awakened Kaku using his soul fruit abilities. It would have been such a fun, maybe one, maybe two chapter battle. I know that Oda doesn't like to spend too much time on the side fights. He really only likes to focus on the main fights, and it doesn't seem like he gives two shizzes about Kaku, because all he got to do this arc was show up, be impressed by the island, and then get taken down by a combo of Zoro and Stussy. And then our boy Rob Lucci shows off a new badass awakened transformation. I personally still like his original transformation, but it's still cool. Slimmed down. He's got the black clouds around him, looking badass. And then in like 2 or 3 pages, he gets taken down by Stussy. I mean, it's impressive. He was able to hold his own with Gear 5, but that is not enough for me, a Rob Lucci fan. Right now, Rob Lucci's stock is plummeting, and I don't think he can come back from it personally. He can't awaken his devil fruit again at best. Maybe down the line in the final war arc, maybe Rob Lucci will get to fight somebody like Sanji and give Sanji a cool victory over a former enemy, but that's really all he's got left to give. I feel bad. I feel like Oda's kind of burying CP0, even though they had an amazing cover story where they turned on the government. Please go back and check it out. It's really good, and he had not capitalized on that at all. And they're back with the government, and they're dogs for the world government, and they just got taken down. That's it. Dunzo. I think they're out of this. And I think the crew's about to bounce ski once they find out where old Vegapunk and Bonnie went off to, which we, again, don't get to see anything involving the backstory for Kuma. We don't know what Kuma's up to. We know he's, trying to climb the red line. We don't know what's going on there. He's probably gonna die. But they've been really pulling the taffy on this, Kuma backstory, Bonnie backstory, and it's just getting a little too much for me at this point, because there's no way it's going to be able to live up to the hype that we've been waiting all these years for. I don't think it's going to live up to it at all. Now at this point, he's just been waiting way too long. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, it can't be that. I don't think Oda's going to spend multiple chapters into this backstory. We might get one full chapter involving the Bonnie Kuma relationship bonds and whatnot, finding out the whole reason why Kuma decided to become a pacifista in the first place. But I think it's probably going to be like an obvious thing, and we're not going to be as excited after all these years, and that's going to be a little disappointing. Not the biggest worry, though, because this story is absolutely fucking amazing, so it's just a little hiccup. And maybe reading this week to week has dulled my senses, having to wait and wait and wait. By the way, we don't even get a new chapter next week. Boo-hoo! From there, we get to see that Stussy can't stop the Sephirum, because she has the same rank as Rob Lucci as part of CP0. She's not above him, so they won't listen to her. It has to be someone above Rob Lucci. It has to be one of the Vegapunks. So we know that some of the Vegapunks are on their way to stop him, and they're like, don't worry, Stussy, you have done enough. Thank you. Come on with us, by the way. Jump on the Straw Hat ship, because you are a wanted clone woman, and we want to keep you safe. Thank you for blowing your cover. And she's like, okay, and you get to see old Usopp going, you're inviting more people onto our ship? Vegapunk, do we really need to bring all these versions of you as well as Stussy? Come on! I guess Stussy is a valuable ally. I'm excited to learn more about her. I really couldn't give two shizzes about Stussy when she first showed up to Egghead Island, but now that she has made the ultimate betrayal on CP0, revealing her new vampire-like devil fruit, I'm actually pretty intrigued. So Oda, you got me there once again. I'm loving it. I'm loving the character development for absolutely any character that needs to have it. And Stussy, I need to know what devil fruit she's got and how she is knocking these boys out, even though they're stronger than her. Yes, she used the sea stone prism fucking lipstick, but I don't think that's enough to take down Rob Lucci. Come on! Okay, I won't say anything else about Rob Lucci. All right. So we get to see the Lilith and Pythagoras, I think, come out, and they're like, hey, Sephirum, stop fighting, but before they can finish their sentence, we see Sephiroth fucking Mihawk come in, and this is where I jumped out of my seat while reading this chapter, is when Mihawk Sephiroth came to kill Lilith, and Zoro, you could just see him grabbing his swords, blocking the attack, looking directly into Mihawk's, or baby Mihawk's eyes, and he's like, you don't seem as, you seem more human, basically, than the real Mihawk. It was just cool to see Sephiroth, Mihawk, and Zoro fight. Honestly, if the rest of the chapter was just a balls-out battle between Zoro and this Mihawk, and he had to take down a Sephiroth, and Zoro was the first person to take one down, and it happened to be the Mihawk one, oh, yes. I'm down for that. But it's really quick. Then we get to see the Jinbei Sephiroth start to fire a laser beam over at Pythagoras, or whatever, the smaller Vegapunk, and it looks like he's about to be destroyed. He does get the order off. He's like, stop it, Sephiroth. I don't have a kill switch, but if you just listen to me for a hot second, you'll shut up and stop blowing up our fucking Egghead Island right now. The whole situation, stop it. They do stop. Sanji comes in for the saves our old buddy Pythagoras. Zoro saves Lilith. It's all a good deal. I feel bad for Frankie, because Frankie was on his way to help as well with the Sephiroth, and he didn't even get to save a Vegapunk. Nope. He wasn't even shown, that I remember. And I really predicted when this arc first began that, maybe Frankie was going to get some upgrades. And maybe he still will on the road to the next island with the other Vegapunks. But I don't see it happening. I feel like Frankie and Brook have kind of been pushed to the foreground. They're getting pushed way back. They aren't doing anything of importance right now. And that's just sad. Same with Usopp. Usopp hasn't really had a moment of his own since Dressrosa, when he showed off his, observation hockey. But other than that, I don't think he even really got a real opponent at Wano that I can remember. I feel like Usopp's been kind of pushed back as well. Nami as well. They need a little bit more. Give me more, Oda. Give me more development for our crew, please. But the day is saved. No more opponents currently on Egghead Island. The crew possibly can leave. They just need to find Dr. Vegapunk and Bonnie, which hopefully next week we'll figure that out whenever the next chapter drops. Then big shit starts happening back at Weevil. We get to see Weevil again saving, no, not an enemy, not attacking Marco. No, he shows up at Whitebeard's home island, the oh god, what was it called, the orphan island, Sphinx Island. Weevil shows up and saves that island from the Marines who attacked. They seized an opportunity. They noticed that Marco, the powerhouse Marco, who's probably admiral level, left to help at Wano, used that opportunity, those couple of weeks, I assume, to go and try and get Whitebeard's secret treasure, which we still don't know if it even exists. We get to find out that Weevil was the one to show up and stop the Marines. But because of how dangerous Weevil is, the government was already after him after they disbanded the warlords. They send in an admiral, not just any admiral. We already know Kizaru's on his way to Egghead Island, but no, Green Bull. Yes, finally this guy's getting a little bit of some development, but it's off-screened once again. We don't even get to see a flashback of Green Bull showing up and fighting with Weevil, which would have been a fun fight. I assume they're on the same level, but I guess since Weevil's probably not the smartest upstairs, our boy Green Bull just drained him of his nutrients and turned him into a husk, like he did with Queen and King, who I also assume Green Bull captured as well, and he's on their way to take them probably to Impel Down. That's the exciting part for me, because if Weevil's going to Impel Down, that means we're going to see our boy Senior Pink Yes, because we know Senior Pink is at Impel Down, and you know who else is at Impel Down? Doflamingo. So once Weevil arrives, I'm not sure if Marco's going to go save Weevil, but we get to see Weevil's mother, the original Stussy, Buckingham Stussy, go like, hey, Weevil saved these people. Also, give me the inheritance to my lover's treasure. Give me the Whitebeard's treasure, because Weevil is the inheritor of the Whitebeard dynasty, because he's his real son. I think that Weevil is a clone, a defective clone, who's also a tank. I've had someone tell me once before that Weevil's kind of like the Majin Buu of this series, like the fat Buu, and Buckingham Stussy is kind of like Bobbity. I like that dynamic. A fucking powerhouse, not the smartest upstairs, but a beast, probably secretly innocent, with a little evil little witch lady who's in control of him. I didn't expect Weevil to be on the good side. I predicted that Weevil might be the one to kill our boy Marco, but it does seem like Marco might go save Weevil if he gets confirmation that Weevil is an actual descendant of Whitebeard, or is actually related. I mean, maybe she's being kind of coy by saying that he's the actual son, but in all reality is a clone, an altered clone of sorts, which could also be a possibility. I don't know. I don't care too much about what Weevil's doing. I just care that we're going back to Impel Down, baby. And there's one last person still at Impel Down that needs to break out and go join the Straw Hat crew. My number one pick to be the final Straw Hat, Bonclay, Mr. 2. Yes, he's alive and well, and he is in Impel Down, and he could break out involving this whole Weevil scenario, along with Doflamingo, along with Senior Pink. Shit's happening. Maybe Doflamingo will join the fucking Cross Guild with all the former warlords. Same with Weevil. Maybe it's just gonna be the fucking warlord, fucking emperor group involving our boy Buggy. We still haven't seen shiz with the fucking Cross Guild. I would love to see what our boy Crocodile's doing. Oda just dribbles a little bit of goodness, and we get to wait and wait and wait and wait. I don't like all this waiting. I miss having chapter after chapter to read. But that's not where this chapter ended. No, this is only a 15-page chapter if you include the cover story, so really only 14 pages. But the final page, page 15, we get to see Kizaru is not alone, and I kind of thought that he would be kind of weird that he'd come and face the Straw Hats by himself. Kizaru brought one individual. One of the 5 elders, Saturn. Yes, we find out that his name is Saturn, and I assume the rest of the 5 elders are named after planets. We don't know yet, but possibly. So we have Saturn on the ship, the dude with the scars and the dreadlocks. He's like Kizaru's like serving this dude snacks, and he's like, so do you know Vegapunk? And he's like, yeah, I met him once many years ago. And it's kind of ambiguous because he's just like, I don't like where this is all going, having to kill him and all that stuff, but we just got to do what we got to do. And that's fine. I don't care too much about the elders. I want to know more about them, of course, but as of right now, I don't know much about their abilities in combat. He's probably strong as shiz. Wouldn't it be nuts if he shows up and completely decimates Luffy, and then Kizaru goes toe-to-toe with Zoro? That's a dream come true for this guy. That's what I want to see. Or even let's get Frankie into the mix. Let's get Frankie some light punching gloves attached to his hands, and he can go toe-to-toe with Kizaru. I'm down for that. I don't expect Frankie to be on the level of an admiral just yet, but just to see him try would make me a happy boy, because I'm a big Frankie fan. If you're going to bury my boy Rob Lucci, at least bring up my guy Frankie. That's all I'm asking. Kizaru versus Zoro, this Elder versus Luffy, that's my prediction. We'll have to wait and see. There is a good chance the Straw Hats will get away from Egghead Island before Kizaru can even show up, but I don't know what's the fucking point of bringing an elder if they're not gonna, interact in any way, shape, or form, unless he's just gonna show off his power and just completely decimate this entire island single-handedly. And Kizaru's like, whoa, you're a strong old man. Oh yeah. But all in all, chapter 1073, while short, had lots of stuff in it. I wish we weren't zooming past characters like Kaku and Lucci not getting their true, just desserts, whether they live or die or win or lose. I just want to see them get more screen time. I want to see them fight it out. And maybe, possibly, in the anime, they'll extend Zoro versus Kaku. They'll extend Luffy versus Rob Lucci. But as of right now, stocks are falling for CP0, CP9. They are a joke. Yes, they can hold their own with members of a emperor's group and whatnot, but it's not enough. It's not enough. They should have had... They should have had Rob Lucci beat down a member of the Straw Hat crew. Not kill him. Maybe just fight Frankie or Robin. Just boom. Just like a one-hit knockout. Let's see this power that he's got. I mean, he should be on the same level as King and Queen at the very least. This is More Fanime. What did you think of chapter 1073? Please comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.